Have you ever wondered if a single decision could change the course of entire nations? Such is the power of strategic planning and the influence of those at the helm. Today, we take a journey back in time to the year 1947, a pivotal year in the annals of South Asian history. Our story begins with a man named Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of British India. A naval officer, statesman, and a cousin of Queen Elizabeth, Mountbatten was known for his charisma, his strategic acumen, and his diplomatic finesse. In February of 1947, he was assigned the daunting task of overseeing the transfer of power from Britain to India, a task fraught with tension, political intrigue, and the weight of centuries-old colonial rule. In the backdrop of this assignment was the Mountbatten Plan, a blueprint for partition that would forever alter the geopolitical landscape of the subcontinent. This plan was not just about the division of territories, it was about the division of people, of communities that had coexisted for centuries. It was about drawing a line that would sow the seeds of discord and ignite the flame of one of the largest mass migrations in human history. The Mountbatten Plan, officially announced on June 3, 1947, was a product of intense negotiation, strategic planning, and political maneuvering. Its goal was to ensure a peaceful transition of power, but its repercussions were anything but peaceful. The plan led to the creation of two nations, India and Pakistan, and set the stage for decades of tension and conflict. But why did Mountbatten propose this plan? What was the historical context that necessitated such a radical move? What were the forces at play that led to the acceptance of this plan by the leaders of the time? These questions and their complex answers form the crux of our exploration today. So, buckle up as we embark on this intriguing journey through time, unraveling the intricacies of the Mountbatten Plan, its genesis, its implementation, and its far-reaching implications. Let's delve deeper into the events leading up to this monumental plan. So, what were the events that led to the formulation of this plan? As we delve into the annals of history, we find ourselves in pre-partition India, a landscape rife with political tension and social unrest. The British colonial government, the Indian National Congress, and the Muslim League were the central players in the drama that was about to unfold. The British colonial government, ruling with an iron fist, had its roots deeply entrenched in the Indian soil. Their policy of divide and rule was the cornerstone of their strategy, sowing the seeds of discord among the different religious communities, particularly Hindus and Muslims. This approach allowed them to maintain control over the vast subcontinent, exploiting resources and people alike. Parallelly, the Indian National Congress, a major political party, was gaining momentum. Composed primarily of Hindus, the Congress was striving for a united India free from colonial rule. However, their vision of a secular nation was met with suspicion and resistance from the Muslim community, who feared marginalization in a Hindu-majority India. This apprehension gave rise to the Muslim League, whose demand for a separate Muslim state, Pakistan, grew louder with each passing day. The League's leader, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, argued that Hindus and Muslims belonged to two distinct nations, with their own customs, religions, and languages. He believed that the only solution to safeguard the rights of Muslims was the creation of a separate nation. Caught in the crossfire of these contrasting ideologies, the common people of India bore the brunt of the escalating tensions. Riots, communal clashes, and a general atmosphere of fear and mistrust became a part of their everyday lives. Amidst this chaos, the British, wary of the escalating violence and the rising tide of nationalism, realized their grip on India was slipping. They needed a swift exit strategy, one that would extricate them from the brewing storm, yet ensure their interests remained protected. Thus, the stage was set for a plan that would change the destiny of millions. The British turned to Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India, to devise a plan that would forever alter the subcontinent's fate. But that's a tale for another scene. Until then, let's ponder upon these events that paved the road to partition. Now, let's unravel the layers of the Mountbatten Plan. In the wake of the Second World War, British India stood at the crossroads of independence and partition. This is where Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India, stepped in with his proposal, known as the Mountbatten Plan. The plan was essentially a blueprint for partition, aiming to split British India into two sovereign states, India and Pakistan. The crux of the plan hinged on the belief that a peaceful coexistence between Hindus and Muslims was no longer possible, and that a division along religious lines was the only viable solution. The plan proposed that the provinces of Punjab and Bengal be divided into Hindu and Muslim majority areas. Furthermore, it suggested that a referendum be held in the northwest frontier province and Sylhet district of Assam to decide their fate. The princely states of India, which were previously semi-autonomous under British rule, were given the choice to join either India or Pakistan or remain independent. The reaction to the plan was a tale of two sentiments. The Indian National Congress, led by stalwarts like Jawaharlal Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi, albeit reluctant, accepted the plan as a necessary evil for achieving independence. They believed that accepting the partition would, in the long run, pave the way for a united and peaceful India. On the other hand, the Muslim League, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, welcomed the plan wholeheartedly. They saw it as a golden opportunity to realize their dream of a separate nation for the Muslims of India, a dream they had been nurturing for years. The Mountbatten Plan, thus, was not just a document, but a watershed moment in the history of the Indian subcontinent. It marked the end of a British rule and the beginning of a new era of self-governance. However, it also lit the fuse of one of the most painful and bloody partitions the world has ever seen. With the acceptance of the plan, the wheels of partition were set into motion. But what were the consequences of this massive geopolitical shift? In the wake of the Mountbatten Plan, a staggering amount of movement took place. Over 10 million people, Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs, uprooted their lives, crossing newly drawn borders in search of safety. The largest mass migration in human history was marked by fear, desperation, and a profound sense of loss. This was not a peaceful transition. Violence erupted. Brother turned against brother, neighbor against neighbor. As communities that had coexisted for centuries were torn apart, communal harmony gave way to hostility. It's estimated that over 1 million lives were lost in the brutal clashes that ensued. But the impact of the partition was not limited to these immediate tragedies. It fundamentally altered the socio-political landscapes of the newly formed nations. India and Pakistan, born out of the same womb, were now estranged siblings, their relationship marked by suspicion and conflict. The partition sowed the seeds of a rivalry that would shape the geopolitics of South Asia for decades to come. The division also led to significant changes within the countries themselves. The demographics shifted dramatically, altering the cultural fabric of the nations. The partition also played a significant role in shaping the political ideologies of India and Pakistan, with each country defining itself in opposition to the other. Moreover, the human cost of the partition extends beyond the lives lost and the homes abandoned. It left deep psychological scars on the people who lived through it. The trauma of the partition has been passed down through generations, its memory still fresh in the minds of many. The partition was not just a political event, it was a human catastrophe. It was a period of immense suffering and turmoil, a time when humanity was lost in the face of hatred and fear. The echoes of the partition can still be heard today. The pain, the loss, the anger, the mistrust, all are remnants of a past that continues to shape the present. The partition, a product of the Mountbatten Plan, forever changed the course of history and the lives of millions. And its impact, its echoes remain ever present, reverberating through time. So, was the Mountbatten Plan a success or a failure? A question that has been debated by historians, scholars, and individuals alike for decades. The Mountbatten Plan, a blueprint for the partition of British India, has left a legacy that continues to influence the geopolitical landscape of South Asia. It's a tale of two perspectives. Some see it as a necessary step towards independence, while others view it as a catastrophic event that displaced millions. On one hand, the plan successfully ended British rule in India, giving birth to two independent nations, India and Pakistan. It brought an end to nearly 2 centuries of colonial rule and paved the way for the establishment of democracies in the subcontinent. This is no small feat, and indeed a success worth acknowledging. However, the legacy of the Mountbatten Plan is not just about political independence, it's also about the human cost. The swift and hasty execution of the plan resulted in one of the largest mass migrations in history, accompanied by violence and bloodshed. Millions of people were uprooted from their homes, communities were torn apart, and the scars of partition continue to linger in the collective memory of the subcontinent. This is the darker side of the Mountbatten plan, a failure that cannot be overlooked. Moreover, the plan also left a lasting impact on the British Empire. It signaled the beginning of the end of British colonial rule around the world. The sun was setting on the British Empire, and the Mountbatten Plan was a stark reminder of that reality. In essence, the Mountbatten Plan is a complex chapter of history, its legacy a melange of triumph and tragedy. It's a story of freedom won at a high price, a story of division and unity, of endings and beginnings, and it's a story that continues to shape the destinies of India, Pakistan, and the United Kingdom. The Mountbatten Plan, a single decision that forever changed the map of South Asia.